a landscape that is not there yet. For quite some years now, I've been obsessed with painted utility marks in the public space. With the constant construction work happening everywhere, you've probably seen plenty of them. It's the small, bright symbols that utility workers draw on the street before digging and building. Some of them look like O's, X's, arrows, or dotted lines. Others are harder to decrypt. Every time I pass one of these signs, I photograph them compulsively. Over the years, the photos have been stacking up on my computer in an endless archive without purpose. I love these urban hieroglyphics, not only because they're beautiful, but also because of their seeming sloppiness. The signs act as sketches in the public space, symbols pointing to something that is not yet there. The utility marks eventually became the material for a film I made last year called Signs of Passage, Passage of Signs. It's about a number of people and animals living together, going on dates and trying hopelessly to communicate and make sense of their surroundings, using a temporary chalk spray, contemporary art, and advice from organizing consultant Marie Kondo. The characters in the film create the rooms they live in, their furniture and their possessions by drawing them with spray cans as they talk. The stories emerged from a mix of improvised and scripted dialogue, and the film setting resembles a theater rehearsal. Theater rehearsals are often held in a specific rehearsal room, separate from the performance space. In the first rehearsals, there are usually no props or stage elements. Often taped out markings are added to the floor to indicate the positions of walls, doors, furniture, and other elements in the set. The scenographic tape marks are connected to the markings made on the street by utility workers. Both kinds of marks point to a something that is not there, but will have to act as if it is, and remember that it later will be. The sketch and the rehearsal both reside in the anticipatory stage to the final product, but they don't necessarily have a linear transformation. They're both about process, about testing solutions, experimenting, making things happen, working things out. It's a space of contingency, a space of potential, where nothing is finite and everything can still happen. When I started thinking about rehearsals and sketches, I began to see how it was not only a method to reach a goal, but that it could also be a goal in itself. With the image of the painted utility marks in the back of my head and the theater rehearsals I had experienced and taken part in through time, I started exploring different artworks through this lens. In the performance Tell Me, from 1979, by French artist Guy de Conteux, three friends spend the evening together, waiting for their fourth friend, Mark, to arrive. The set consists of different colorful geometric objects: cubes, triangles, cones, planes, and other amorphous shapes. The dialogue is a mix of nonsensical chit-chat, literary references, and conversations about and with the objects in the room. Throughout the performance, the actors identify the objects, contemplating them or recounting their hidden biographies. The contemplations lead to stories within stories and ramifications of narratives. The intricate narratives extracted from the objects contrast with their minimal appearances. The characters, the places, and the objects seem like sketches or contours. They have several parallel definitions, and they constantly affect each other, triggering and activating new functions and constellations. In this way, no person or object has a stable identity. A cube successively becomes a word, a book, a game. In the following extract from the performance, Mary, the host of the dinner, hits a pyramid of cubes, being referred to in the script as the book. Where is my comb? Oh, here it is. She hits the book on the table. Oh, my precious book. She picks up the pieces of the book. Half a sentence is broken. I'll fix it later. But there. I'm afraid one word is beyond repair. Sometimes the performers communicate with sound. Sometimes with touch or just movement and gesture, as when Mary tells Michael the shopping list needed to make the evening's meal. Potatoes, bananas, string beans, what else? If you could find some, Mary clapped her hands 3 times. It would be very nice. Mary transformed the space with her gestures and words. She turns cubes into books and clapping hands into groceries. Mary reminds me of the host-like characters found in many of the films of the contemporary artist Laure Pauvoux. Her works have the same playful relationship to language and uses some of the same strategies when managing objects that are not there, as in Pauvoust's video, Monologue, from 2009, starting like this. I'm sorry this room is not so nice. I did ask for it to be changed. With beautiful furnitures, paintings, and sofas. But they did not listen. I hope you're not too cold. In the video, a woman, the artist herself, is welcoming us as a host. She tells us to sit down. She says she hopes we're sitting well. She makes excuses for the temperature of the room. She's wearing a sweater to keep warm. I wish this screen was a little bit bigger, she says, and gestures toward the edge of the video frame. It would be nice if you could see my head and my legs. You'll have to imagine my face like it is projected above you there, on the ceiling, like floating above you, she says, and stretches her arms. And you'll have to imagine my arms on the walls as if I'm embracing the room. Pauvoust is addressing the room that we're watching in the film, which is maybe an exhibition space, a lecture hall, or even a private home. The video explores how a room changes when we start to talk about it. The narration reminds me of the early days of a theater production, when the set designer of a play sees the empty stage and envisions a landscape that is not yet there. Or maybe a more fitting analogy for the situation between the spectator and Pauvoust is that of a director, instructing the actors in an empty rehearsal space to play along, regardless of the fact that the scenography and props are still absent. Craft paper is almost a forest. I once heard a director tell her actors during a rehearsal. Pauvoust's film is about imagination and potentiality. But it's also about the artwork's own inability to physically change anything. Provost's character tries to emphasize her intentions with gestures. She points to things outside the frame of the video. She tries to expand the room with her hands. She talks about a smell that cannot be smelled. She addresses us in a whispering voice. The voice is part comforting, part seductive, part uncanny, and evokes memories of Vidua Kanchi's pivotal theme song from 1973, in which the artist lies on the floor and whispers directly to the camera. Provost's voice and words imprint a scenery in our head. But at the same time, we're awkwardly aware of the room we're in. In a way, it feels like we're caught in a third space, a room that exists as a ghost image between the space of the text and the space we're in. Is this room also related to the room of the rehearsal? Are we inhabiting a sketch for another space?